And we are live. Hey everybody, good to see you guys. Glad you could make it. We are joined with Derek Nelson. Hope you are doing well. I think we're live. Does look so. Okay. It's good to see you.
Well, and thank you for having me. Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Always a pleasure having you.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody is in the wrong stream, to be honest. Not sure.
I don't know.
But yeah, this is part 2 of the series. What was your thoughts on the first part?
Well, yeah, it's like Catz was just mainly attributing the faults of the U.S. as a whole on Christianity itself. And that's just not fair. Like, you can't blame an entire nation for like not actually listening to what Christians have to say.
I agree. And I mean, even his source he was using had a very biased thing towards it. You know what I mean? And it was definitely a secular page that he got it from. So I do think that made a difference on the information. I've got to return this. Okay, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because they should get into more of a discussion now that they're supposed to. More of a debate. So it'd be good to see what they bring up this time. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm going to get another coffee. And I'm going to mute. There's tornado drills going off near me, but it's Wednesday, like the first of the month. It's a little loud in the background. I'll be back.
Oh, no stress. Hey, Peter brother, how's it going, man?
Yeah. How we doing?
Okay, and self.
Cool.
It's good. It's good to see you, man.
You too, bro. You too.
So yeah, we're gonna do part 2 today, and they should be getting into more of the debate now, so it should be good.
Cool.
Realizing that now. So the Bible doesn't speak anything about doing that in any way. It's about protecting children. It has nothing to do with Christianity when they're doing that. All that has to do with is someone that has a sexual problem trying to get into a position of power over children, and that's in schools across the world, and that's people that have that sexual problem. So it has nothing to do with Christianity. Exactly. Christianity doesn't teach it, so I don't think that's a problem with Christianity. The medical issue about the cancer treatment, you know, Luke in the Bible in the New Testament was a doctor. Okay, so he was a doctor. You know, was he performing surgeries and stuff back then? I don't know what kind of doctor he was, but he was a doctor, like a medical doctor, right? So the Bible doesn't teach against using mainstream cancer treatments, but what I would say is that's probably a Jehovah's Witness thing, right? So that's not mainstream Christianity. Jehovah's Witness is a sect, and I don't believe in that, so I wouldn't even say that.
100%, Josh. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I do see like there are like extreme Christians who won't use medication and stuff like that, but in general, yeah, it is kind of like Jehovah's and stuff like that, and Mormons that don't tend to do that. But I have seen normal Christian people, if you can call that, people in normal denominations or whatever, still saying, no, we just trust the Lord for healing, forget NHS, forget medicine.
You see, the thing is, unfortunately, some cults have taught people that if you're not trusting, saying that, then you're not trusting fully.
Right.
But God gave us medicine to use.
That's the point.
So it doesn't mean you have to get healed through supernatural means.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same as getting like a snake bite and saying, well, I trust God's going to, keep me alive from the snake bite, when you got the anti-venom right next to you. Yeah, God provided that anti-venom for you. Don't be so hard-headed and think, oh, I don't need the anti-venom.
Exactly. I mean, even if you didn't have that, and say you're out in the wild or whatever, and the snake bites you, you're not just going to say, all right, I'll just let God heal this. You'd be sucking out that venom, wouldn't you? You'd be sucking and spitting. That's what you'd be doing.
Exactly. So, yeah, unfortunately, people fall for cults and then they do stuff, and then there are repercussions from that.
Yeah.
But then again, that's not what the Bible teaches. That's exactly what Josh is saying. So, it's sad that people actually think that, you know, Christianity teaches you not to get any medication. No, that's not what the Bible teaches at all. I mean, even if you look at, for instance, the 12 disciples, they all had their own type of talent. And Jesus used those talents for them in certain situations for a reason. Just like if, like you said, Luke was a doctor. There's a reason he's a doctor. It's because he could use that understanding to help people. But, yeah. So 100% agree with what Josh was saying.
That's a thing. But anyways, I think that's all the stuff you kind of...
Hey, Michael. Good to see you, brother. It seems they're all in the other vertical. But, it's good to see you, man.
brought up, but a lot of the stuff that Catz is bringing up, which he did a great job on his presentation, and I love that he brought the presentation. I think that's good for the audience. And but what I think a lot of the stuff that he brought up is he's pulling data from America, and America, obviously we do have a lot of Christians in America, but there's a plethora of different religions in America, and there's a plethora of different problems and issues in America that are secular issues. They're not Christian issues. So that's what I would say. But Conspiracy Catz, you said that you've never debated this subject. I haven't debated it either. So right now, I think we're just having a good back and forth and a good discussion. I think we're going to treat each other with respect and kindness, which I totally appreciate. A lot different than what I'm used to from other secular people that I debate. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, Catz, your turn for a response.
How about this for divine intervention? Now, you don't know why that's divine intervention. I was just thinking, while I was thinking about my rebuttal to what you said, you'll say, that's crazy, that's crazy. So this is a rebuttal. It's going to look like it isn't when it starts off. But I was thinking about Star Wars recently, right? And thinking about The Last Jedi. And that is so shit. Like, that is so shit. And I watched The Last Jedi and I walked away and I was like, that isn't Star Wars, right? In real Star Wars, Luke Skywalker isn't some kind of loser drinking green titty milk from a sea lion. He doesn't get outshone by Rey, who's only had like 2 seconds of training in.
Yeah, you see, the problem with Star Wars today, it's become part of the agenda, the woke agenda.
Yeah.
And it's totally messed up the franchise, like, as in big time.
Same as most movies. A lot of movies has gone that they're using it for political agendas. Mm-hmm. And you know, whatever propaganda they've got going for their worldviews, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I love Star Wars. I still do love Star Wars, but yeah, the new Star Wars are definitely not on par.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
New Star Wars, new Star Trek's terrible too. I mean,
the only good thing about the new
they did a stupid musical within the Star Trek series. They were singing and dancing like a musical. Now that's not Star Trek. You know?
That's crazy. The only thing that's good about all the new Star Wars and thing is the visual effects. The VHS is very good. But that's about it. The storyline is rubbish. I can't say the acting is bad because the actors are just doing what they have to do, unfortunately. But the political agenda is definitely so apparent that it makes me not want to watch it.
Right.
Which is sad. But it shows you.
Well, it's like,
yeah,
it's like Disney is not, you know, what we formerly know as Disney. Like like it's like God clearly gave them a gift, you know, like with wholesome themes, praying to God, you know, acknowledging Jesus Christ in prayer, like Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah.
And now, but you have to pay for that stuff. But no, they give us all their slop for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, today it's just about propaganda to the masses. That's it. It's not about entertainment, really.
Right. Yeah, they've taken a deep dive.
It's in the satanic agenda, by the way, guys. Just to let you know. And Catz, that's actually an interesting thing if you think about it, because you're actually, by bringing this up, you're showing that they are detaching Christianity from society. And since they've been detaching Christianity from society everywhere, things are going worse and worse. So actually, by just bringing that up, you would have to understand that yes, Christianity is good for society, and it's a positive thing to have Christianity. It's when they take it away that the issue comes, and that's where your stats come from. It's secular stats that are just using the name Christian country, which is not really.
Han Solo, isn't just going to walk onto the end of a lightsaber. He's better than that. That was the first one, wasn't it? It was like, real Star Wars isn't The Last Jedi, because The Last Jedi is so wank. It's rubbish. But you know what?
Sora 2 video generation is not available in our region.
It is if you're on Artlist.
That's what we got. That is what we've got. We got The Last Jedi. That is Star Wars. Now, the analogy here is, a lot of what Josh is saying is he's referring to the Bible and the beliefs of a true Christian. That there are things happening in society that don't represent his Christian beliefs, and that he doesn't believe come from the Bible. Fully respect that. Fully respect that. Okay? Not a problem. But this debate is about Christianity in society, and what we've got is The Last Jedi, right? We have a religion that is structured in a certain way with a certain hierarchy, made up of whatever infrastructure it's got, that is separate from the Bible. It's separate from how maybe Josh might interpret the Word of God or the instructions coming out of the Bible. The religion of Christianity is separate from that. The religion of Christianity we've got is kind of like The Last Jedi. So it's okay to say, but the Bible doesn't, teach this, and this, and that might all be true. I've got to defer to you on that. I don't read the Bible, and if you tell me the Bible teaches something, I'm going to believe you. I'm not going to argue with it because I don't know. But what we have in society is what I showed you with those statistics. That is the effect of the organized religion that is Christian.
No, it's not the effect of organized religion. That's the effect of a country that is letting go of God. That's an effect of a country that still uses the name "In God We Trust," but it's not the God of the Bible anymore.
Right.
So it's sad that they're trying to use all the bad things happening and blame Christianity for it.
Yeah.
And that's what Josh is trying to say. Just because there's bad people out there and they're using this doesn't make them Christians. It doesn't mean Christianity is bad for society. Christianity has done very good things for the West. The reason why the West is the way it is today is because of Christianity.
It's because they need. Obviously against Christ and all that. The way society is just goes to show that we need Christ.
Amen.
More than ever.
Amen. Exactly. And since they're throwing Christ away, hence we see all these terrible things happening. Because you can see an increase happening. If we actually go and look through his data, if you wanted to you can do more digging, get more data, you'll see through the years it's been getting progressively worse and worse because they've been throwing God away. The more they throw God away, the worse it gets.
Christianity has. So that is what we've got. So I'll just end this by saying it might be a case that actually we come to some kind of agreement here, that the disagreement is in the definition of Christianity, where I'm talking about the religion as it is, as we've got, as we see it when we look around, and Josh is maybe coming from an idealistic version of what he would like Christianity to be, which allows him to discount certain practices as being Christian practices. And if that's what we come to,
Josh's face. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're just not Christian practices though. All these people that call themselves Christians, like Mormons and Jehovah's and that, their religion isn't Christian. Yes, the individual might be a Christian depending on what they believe and what they've confessed and that, but the religion itself is not of Christianity.
Yeah, but look at Josh's face, like so confused, like what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's what we come to. That's fine. But that's. Oh yeah, and there was one other thing. Yeah, sorry. The reason I said that is because he, in his opening, he was talking about people doing things in the name of Christianity, but actually they were just saying it under the umbrella of Christianity, and they weren't really Christians. So that's where that come in. And the other thing is just 10 seconds. He talked about what
He didn't really rebut it, did he? He just repeated him and said, "Okay, that's it." He didn't actually give a rebuttal towards it.
You've got plenty of lip service Christians as well, you know, they say it, and, you know, they say
Sunday
certain things, they
Christians.
say certain things, but they're inwardly, you know.
Yeah, you get Sunday Christians.
Yeah.
That's exactly that, Josh. He wasn't rebutting anything. He was just giving what we would call word salad. Because he's just repeating and saying words, but he's not rebutting it actually. So, yeah, I can see the Josh's face.
You can tell it's on your
Christianity, different world historically. Brilliant. Loads of things happened historically when loads of really good things when virtually everybody was a Christian. But also those things happened when we didn't have electricity, when we didn't have the internet. So I'm not going to say, oh, wasn't it brilliant when nobody had the internet and that gave us universities? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just history. It's just the way things were. So I'm not going to put too much stock in that. But that's my friendly rebuttal.
He didn't give a rebuttal. Sorry, man.
We have got to the point.
Oh, really?
He was just repeating everything and then not actually addressing anything.
Right.
To be honest, he
Right.
sounded like a Muslim. It's like ask a
Well, he did
question and they
admit
give
that he
him.
doesn't really know much about the Bible. He hasn't read it. So
Yeah, but then how,
Yeah,
he's largely
how
doesn't
do you-
know what he's talking
but
about.
how do you go?
that's true.
Mhm.
But how do you go into a debate about Christianity but you don't know anything about the Bible?
That's what we say. How are you going to go into a debate talking about how Christianity is good or bad for society without knowing what Christianity says about society?
I know.
So in other words, he's chosen to be an atheist out of ignorance, pure ignorance, because he knows nothing about the Bible.
Right.
That's a very dangerous thing to tread upon. I mean, he prides himself in being an educator and thing, you know, and having knowledge on the subjects. But he hasn't even opened a Bible to see what the Bible says, and yet he's made a decision to be an atheist. To me, that's very perplexing.
Well, hopefully he's among those who just don't know better yet.
Well, hopefully through this, he realizes that he must start reading the Bible to actually see what it says.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I've got to say Star Wars wasn't on my bingo card for today's debate. Okay, gentlemen, this is where we enter the back and forth. I'm going to unmute you both, which you both are now. Of course.
The thing is, Josh, he can't really give any chapter and verses for his claims because he doesn't know the Bible. So he'll probably just make claims the whole debate and not being able to back it up. Like we just saw, he didn't really give any rebuttal for anything anyway.
Us, I expect you both to be civil. If there's any interrupting, let the other person speak. If there is, I'll just have to mute you. Don't make me do any more work than just watching you guys. And how can I start this?
Let's let Josh begin. He's the guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so my opening statement, I was saying that like anything that you claim in, which I know obviously you didn't know this ahead of time, which would have been awesome because then you could have like said, hey, chapter and verse for what this means. So everything you were kind of going over in your opening statement, you were going over things that have to do with has to do with the United States that you feel are wrong. And because there's a lot of Christians in the United States, then you're kind of placing that to them. But to that what you're saying. So like for example, like the suicide rates. But like there is some data that obviously shows that people that go to church, there's a less suicide rate than people that are secular, right? But a lot of the stuff that you said, like it doesn't pertain to what the Bible teaches. So how could you place these things as something that Christianity has an effect on society? For example, like it doesn't teach about having sex outside of marriage. It doesn't teach about doing sexual abuse. So how does that having an effect on on society from Christianity when it's not even something the Bible teaches? I would ask that.
Exactly.
So I think, having listened to everything you said, I think there is a definitional issue here. Definitional, is that a word? The way we define it. I am going to answer that. I'm going to just
Definition, the word that we use to define it. No shit, Sherlock. No, definition doesn't mean to define a word. What the? It seems like he's trying every obfuscation tactic just not to answer Josh. Josh asked a very specific question here. And Catz is just seeming that he doesn't want to answer it. So he's just saying anything he can. Very ill prepared, Catz. Sorry, I have to be very blunt. Very ill prepared debate, man.
I agree.
Do you think...
By the way, I finished my opening presentation for the debate on the 15th.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I was so happy to get that done last night. It's going to be ace, man. I don't know how the guy can rebut what I present him. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
Nice.
That way.
Hebrew, Greek, everything.
Cool.
So hopefully Catz comes and watches that debate, and you'll see how an actual debate works. That's actually based on having been prepared and the knowledge of the subject. You know what I mean? I'm really actually... Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for that to happen, man. That'd be we ain't seen you debate in a little while, to be honest.
Yeah. I've asked how many people to debate. They just, I don't know, run from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good. It's gonna be fun.
Everybody who believes, everybody who calls themselves a Christian, acts in the way the Bible, in the way that you suggest the Bible tells them.
No. Everybody that calls himself a Christian, there's some, for example, there's some people that would say I'm Christian. For example, like Constantine. So what Constantine did is his soldiers started converting to Christianity. He started seeing more and more of his soldiers converting to Christianity. So what did he did? He says, "Oh, well, I saw a vision in the sky of a cross, and now I'm gonna convert to Christianity." So that all of his soldiers were like, "Oh, okay, the boss man is Christian now, so we can all be Christian. We'll fight harder for him, right?" So, but there was basically Christian churches that he would have set up here, but underneath where all of his imperial people or his elite would go, and they would worship Mithra, right? So
that's practically where Roman Catholicism took its roots.
It's so mad.
Where they started, taking the guise of, okay, now we're including Christianity, but they thought of, because Rome didn't just evaporate, guys. Rome just didn't fall. It just evolved into what we'd call the Roman Empire today, okay, the Catholic Church.
All right.
Roman Catholicism is literally just an attempt to keep the pagan belief and traditions, but in a Christianity disguise.
Yeah.
And Constantine was unfortunately the root of that.
So he would say that he's Christian so that his soldiers loved him, but he was actually he was actually worshiping Mithra, right? So I don't think that everybody that says they're Christian are Christian. Mm-hmm. And also, Catz and Al, it's really a battle.
This guy has a lot of adverts set on his thing, I must say. I realize that it's like literally every 2-3 minutes there's an advert.
Oh, it says it in the.
Quite
He's
insane.
trying to make the most out of his monetization, isn't he?
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Bible that we wrestle against, not wrestle against flesh and blood, right? So we it's principalities of evil, right? So we're basically in a battle. So it's very hard for us as Christians. It's not easy. So I would agree with you that it's hard. But yeah, a lot of people might claim that they're Christian, but not actually be Christian because they just say, I believe in God, but they don't read the Bible and not following the Bible. So yeah, it does happen sometimes, definitely.
So I
want to say, Josh, you didn't listen to a word you just said, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that.
use that to answer the question you've got then. That people do things in the name of Christianity even if they are not acting as Christians as you would define it. So, for example, here, children dying because their parents and even local authorities are refusing them cancer care. I'm sure you would say, well, actually, that's not a very Christian thing to do, but it's still being done in the name of Christianity.
Yeah, why are you repeating what Josh is saying, just in your own words? You're supposed to be rebutting him. He's agreeing with him. He's not rebutting him at all.
Okay, what I would ask you this is, what's the cancer care? Is it was the cancer care like radiation treatment? Was the cancer care something that, because in some cases, Al, some people might decline that type of treatment because sometimes, even if you do, some people might believe that it's going to spread the cancer because. Yeah, so it just depends. I mean, I don't know that specific scenario, whether that they said in the name of Christianity, I don't want this radiation, or if it's something that maybe the parents were against because, they might have done some research about what that treatment was, and maybe they thought it wasn't going to be good for the child. It might not have been only because they were Christian or only because they were Jehovah's Witness or whatever the case may be,
So this is for...
Yeah, you'd have to know the details of the thing, especially if Catz has brought it up. You would think he can clarify it with more detail. But again, it doesn't seem to me like he's actually paying attention. It's like Catz is just there on autopilot, not really paying attention to anything said. I don't know, you guys getting that same vibe? Almost like he's not taking it seriously.
Well, autopilot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, like Josh seemed to have his attention for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of, it wavers. But go ahead, please.
No, I'll just give you the background. Sorry, my screen took a shit then. So this was taken from a Congress hearing here. This is the entire document. Sorry, this is my PowerPoint. I have got the entire document. We can look at it. Okay. And the purpose of this Congress hearing was to look at neglect and abuse in Christian Science families because of information like this, where it talked about 100 and odd children dying, and
you just didn't listen to a word that he just said. And I mean, it's very simple. Just because some person decides to say, well, I refuse treatment for my child, doesn't mean Christianity is bad. That's not following what Christianity says. So I find it really pathetic that he's trying to just ignore everything Josh has said and still just push the narrative, well, this was a Christian family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Muhammad Ali, when he was Cassius Clay, he was a Christian.
Yeah, that was a Christian family. That was his Christian name, yeah.
And then he became Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean?
Yeah. His family stayed Christian. The Cassius side, the Clay side stayed Christian, but he changed his name to Muhammad X.
Exactly.
And then what's his name? Can't remember his name. Prophet Elijah Muhammad gave him the name Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Michael, it does. He says, why do I get the feeling Catz is being fed info? He's doing the pigeon thing Craig does. It does seem that way. I don't know. It always seems with these guys, this group, when they do debates and stuff, it's almost like they have like a McToon in their back here, like trying to feed their information. Have you guys realized that?
Yeah.
Well, I can't prove that, but it
just seems that way. We're not saying it is that. But it just seems that way because everything, the way they move, they're always full earphones in their ears, and they're not paying attention to anybody that already talks, and then they repeat themselves over and over. Okay, let's see.
This one child that you were talking about, he was sent home without even sedatives to die, so they denied him even the sedatives to ease his pain because he was a Christian Science child. But
Again, that's not Christianity. Christianity doesn't teach that. Have more details on it. I mean, what's the details on that?
Even if we take that out, here are all the other children who died, and they are dying from things like dehydration, for example. Look at this. I'll just see if I can highlight it here.
Yeah, that would be called abuse. That's not Christianity. Christianity is against abuse. I don't understand why he doesn't get about this.
Does he not realize like a lot of Christian people do missionary work and go to third world countries to help people with things like that, famine and all that kind of stuff, you know? So, yeah, I mean, it's not even just within their own society. Christians work out of their own society, you know, and try to spread the gospel to the nations, I suppose.
Exactly.
This is your
Another
brain.
advert. Wow. Insanity, man.
It's like every 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I can send you this so you know I'm not bullshitting you. I know it's difficult to see on screen, but next to where I've got this blue dot, that says dehydration. 6 children died from dehydration, which is obviously very easy to cure. Their outcome would have been excellent. And this...
Who said that is Christians that caused that?
I know, I mean,
could the child have died from malnutrition and dehydration from not being able to actually get water, maybe? Ever thought of that?
right.
Well, it's in scripture that children are a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So you treat it as a blessing, and don't neglect it. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's like, where does this... how does this tie into Christianity's bad for society or something? Because this has actually got nothing to do with Christianity.
No.
And the stats is
mean,
just picking up deaths of infants or death of children or whatever for dehydration or whatever. It doesn't mean it's how can I say, caused by Christian or Christian beliefs.
It's the pros and cons of life. That's what it is.
But that's
It's-
but that's
it's
what
what
I'm saying.
happens,
The data he's getting is based on secular bias data capture. So they go and they just say, well, we want to show Christianity bad, so let's just go look at everybody that died. America's supposed to be a Christian country, so therefore it's all just Christians' fault.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Obviously, if we were good Christians and Christianity was such a good thing, nobody would ever die. Of course, of course. So mad.
I expected much more from Catz. This is like, nah. It looks like he quickly got his homework 5 minutes before the debate.
Right.
ChatGPT, guys.
is a religious motivated medical neglect. So basically parents...
Cheers, Michael. Thanks for coming, brother. Blessings, and I hope you sleep well and see you tomorrow. Yeah, great news, guys. Saturday morning, leaving to get my car eventually.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic.
whatever. It's been hectic without the car, but yeah, thank you again, everybody that has supported the GoFundMe to help get the car and where it was and everything. Obviously, we've had to take a loan for the last bit, but appreciate everybody's support. You guys rock.
Choosing to treat their child, which was allowed, but one of the treatments allowed was simply prayer. It didn't have to be medical. So these were Christian Science families, which prompted the
And
Congress.
how do you get that out of what you just read? How did he get that out of what that data showed? It didn't say, oh, they just wanted prayer. Look here. Extract. According to one study between 1975 and 1995, an estimated 172 children died after their parents rejected medical care on religious grounds. Of these children, 140 suffered conditions for which survival rates exceeded 90%. If there had been timely medical interventions, the 18 more could have survived at a rate exceeding 50%. Parents belonging to the 5 churches that practice faith and spiritual healing methods accounted for 83% of these child deaths. The Indiana-based Faith Assembly doesn't sound very Christian-like. Christian Science Church, Christian Science Church doesn't sound Christian-based either.
No.
Church of the Firstborn in the Western States. All these sound very cult-like.
Very religious, yeah.
Faith Tabernacle of Philadelphia, and the End Time Ministry of South Dakota. So the fact that they have to name these specific churches shows it's a very cult practice in their church, in their situations, but they're using Christianity as their label. That doesn't mean it's the Bible teaches this. Doesn't mean they were actual Christians.
Exactly. That last one sounds like a doomsday cult.
It's more cult-like, yeah.
Yeah.
It says, the survey did not include the 78 child deaths reported in Oregon from 1995 to 98, or the 12 deaths in Idaho between 1980 and 98, resulting from faith healing practices that occurred within the Oregon-based followers of Christ Church. Of the Oregon children, probably 21 could have lived if they had received medical treatment, according to reports from the Oregonian. You know what's really odd about this? Have you guys not realized? Why is it in those churches, those specific 5 churches or whatever, the 6, there's so many deaths of children? I mean, I've gone to many churches in my life, and I've never ever really heard of deaths of children in the churches. And this is like a very high amount. Are you telling me all the children there are just sickly? That's a bit odd.
Yeah, well, Faith Assembly in Indiana refers to a Pentecostal church. That's they're probably charismatic. If they're Pentecostal, charismatic. So they sometimes are like that. Well, no, we trust in God alone for, you know what I mean? And they do some charismatics do obviously have medication, but some of your hyper charismatics will say, no, just God, just faith alone, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So they're Pentecostal assemblies. So they're certainly charismatic, so they've got some funny doctrines.
Which is not scriptural based at all.
No. Christian Science Church.
Science, that's what a name. Christian Science.
I know.
Hearing, who were basically just using prayer as medical intervention, and all these kids died from things like dehydration, not just cancer.
Okay, and
by the way, if you're praying, why can't you just give the child water or at least put them on a drip or something? What the hell?
Yeah.
There's probably several examples that we could probably pull of secular people maybe doing the same, you know?
Yeah, so, that's also true. You can, for instance, look at satanistic kind of cults where they literally sacrifice people. Okay?
Right.
Literally doesn't mean... And none of this is still got to do on the topic of, is Christianity bad for society? Or good society or whatever. None of this is actually part of anything other than he's trying to say, well, people died because people claim to be Christian. That's got nothing to do with the topic anyway.
Right. I just looked up that second church, the Christian Science Church.
Yeah.
And that's a Christian denomination founded in 1879 in Boston, Massachusetts by Mary Baker Eddy, designed to reinstate primitive Christianity and its lost element of healing. So they emphasize healing. That's
so it's a New Age church. It's literally like a New Age church then.
Right, exactly.
Oh, how is this only a Christian thing? It's not only a Christian thing, you know? So I don't have the data, obviously, to pull, but anything that you could pull, like maybe a Christian family did, I could probably pull that a secular family did. And at least, like I said, these children have a chance to live. Like in secular societies, they're doing abortions up to 9 months, so they're actually not allowing the children to actually live at all. So I don't know why, like, are you backing up that?
Right point there, Josh. Yeah, when we look at abortion. The woman just like, oh, it's my body. I can do with what I please. Not thinking about the child inside them. Not even giving them an opportunity to try.
No, people use abortion as a form of contraception nowadays.
Yep.
Disgusting.
I mean, there was a woman the other day I saw. She's like, she says she's had 4 abortions. She's proud of them. She'll have 20 more if she has to.
Well, why are you getting pregnant?
Because they sleep around and then pregnancy just happens and she doesn't want a child, so she'll just have an abortion again. Insane, sick.
A secular society would be better. Well, if you are, then you'd have to face the fact that they're doing abortion.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's like Josh saying the abortion. What if he brought up all the stats for all the abortions happening daily? It far, far outweighs all the deaths that he brought up in his whole presentation. And those are years, accumulated of years of deaths, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Big time.
Now, Christianity is against abortion. So, Christianity is better for society because you have more chance to live. The thousands of children who get aborted every day are people against Christianity.
Yeah.
Yet he wants to moan about 149 children within the lifespan of what, 40, 50 years? That had an opportunity to actually live and were unfortunately part of cults. It's not Christianity.
You know, so I know people might say, well, those aren't children yet, or those aren't babies yet. But of course, I believe that they are babies. I believe that God formed us in the womb. So they are babies. So at least these kids are having a chance to even live at all. And also, I don't know the specifics to anything that you're bringing up. All we're doing is we're from the outside looking in, right? So you're giving me something like, oh yeah, these child died because they weren't allowed because they were Christian and they're against
See what
science.
I mean? He's not even listening to him.
No.
But we're from the outside looking, and we don't know exactly what was going on in those situations. And I understand that that's the way you kind of have to pull data. We don't know each individual decision, but it's very hard for me to defend that because I don't think the Bible teaches that. So I don't know if they were maybe misinterpreting or maybe bad
Why are
doctrine.
you shaking your head, dude? You don't even know what the Bible says, Catz.
And maybe somebody's telling him, and he's young.
Maybe they're misinterpreting a verse, you know, but it could have been something different than Christianity having an effect on their decision, if that makes sense, because I don't know what the exact details of it were, but does that make sense? I don't know.
It does. You made 2 points there. I just want to address just the first one very quickly, and then the second one. The first one, you said this might happen in a secular society. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was my explaining that wasn't bad, that wasn't good enough. In the states where these children died, it was considered neglectful at the time if a child wasn't given intervention if they were ill, life-saving intervention. But one of the law actually said that the intervention that could be given didn't have to be medical, it could be spiritual. So in other words, if a child had something like dehydration, if you didn't do anything and the child died, then you were guilty of neglect. But if you chose not to go down a medical route, but instead provide intervention in the form of prayer, you weren't breaking the law.
What? Let's put it this way. If your child comes to you and says, Daddy, oh, Mommy, I'm thirsty, what do? You give them
go
something
get
to
some
drink.
Juice, water.
He's making it sound like, well, if you're Christian, you don't give your children anything to drink if they're thirsty.
No, that's silly.
That's ridiculous.
Or is that just me? Because that's literally how he's trying to make it sound, how I'm reading it in. It's like they're refusing to give the child something to drink. It's like, no, we'll pray for you. What? I think also a lot of the times these cases are more complicated than they want to let in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really know the true story behind the things.
Yeah, some of these people can be religious nuts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So it's a bit odd.
And that's what this whole, I mean, this goes on and on. This is the whole thing. I will send it you when we're done, so you can see. But it really breaks it down, so you get the context. And that screenshot I showed you of all those children dying is in here. So when you say this could happen in a secular society, like in a secular society, people wouldn't choose prayer over medical intervention.
Yeah, they'll just let them suffer and say, the strongest survive.
Yeah.
They won't even attempt prayer. They'll just say, it's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
They say, you're costing me money, so why must I buy medication for you? That will be their argument. Why must I spend money on you? Correct? See, it can go both ways. It's literally, it's like, what?
That was the first point. I'll let you respond to that, and then I'll go on to your second point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If someone is an atheist, they're not going to pray, use prayer. But they might be secular, and they might be a child abuser. You know what I mean? And they might just go, you know what? I don't care about this kid. I mean, so they might choose to just not.
Another one. Okay.
Give them help. I mean, there's several people that I've seen on the news where they neglect their children, so they could be a secular person neglecting their children, and even though they're not.
I mean, I don't know if I told you this. Like, I think I told you guys this on Monday, where the woman dropped off her 7-year child at school without telling the child, "Well, you're never going to see me again. Your adoptive parents are just going to pick them up."
Yeah, you did. Wow.
I mean, that's a secular person.
Surprise.
It's like going all over social media, celebrating how awesome this is. I'm throwing my child away. The adoptive parents are going to pick them up. I don't need to worry about them anymore. Only about me, myself, and I. I sold everything. I'm just going to go get in my RV and do what I want.
Right.
That's a secular person. Is that what's supposed to be good for society? If you're not in the mood for your child, you just throw them away? Insanity.
Of course not. Mm-hmm.
Show me a Christian that would do that.
Using prayer, they are just not.
Sorry?
Sorry.
No good.
I was going to say, no, yeah, Scripture would tell us to take responsibility.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right, go ahead, Keith.
I think he's nipped to the kitchen.
Sorry, I just quickly went to the kitchen. Get something to drink. Okay. Wow. Catz was very, very unprepared with the subject. That's for sure. That's all I'm getting.
You went to get something to drink. You're not dehydrating yourself now.
No, I should just pray for myself, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't. Yeah. Don't get water. Just pray that you can hydrate miraculously.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Attending to their child, and that might just be a mental issue or something wrong with them, mentally for them to do that. So there's anything you could say like a Christian had done. Obviously, you could find in a secular society as well. But I would say this: are you pro-choice, or are you? What's your stance on that? Because you know that about 80 to 90%, some of the data shows of secular or atheists would be like pro. They would be for abortion, if that makes sense.
I'm against late-term abortion. I haven't looked into the science of it, so I'll basically tell you what I think, and it's not very well researched. Okay, so I am, and I'll hold my hand up to that. I'm not making any claims here. I haven't researched it. Something as simple as the morning after pill, I'm happy with that. That's fine. Something as late as somebody being aborted the day before or the morning that they're due to be born. I'm absolutely not fine with in any way, shape, or form. So somewhere in between those 2 points, if I really sit down and I'm honest with myself, I would have to think of a cutoff point of where I am and where I'm not fine, and I'd refer to the science for that. And I've done no research on it, and that's all I can say, really.
Yeah, it's tough because I had a child. His name is Aspen, and we basically my wife's water broke at 21 months, for example. Okay, so in Kaiser in California, they will only allow you to have the baby if it's 22 months. So we had to have the baby, and obviously we couldn't keep the baby. The baby can't breathe because they're not going to put him on a ventilator. So we had to have our baby at 21 months, and it was, he passed away, but he was a baby. Okay, so it's something that's near and dear to me. Like even though scientifically they might say that he's not. Like in Canada.
100%, Josh.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm so sorry for that, man. That's awful. That's awful.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, we also had a miscarriage, but I mean that was 8 weeks, and that was tough enough. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But this is a
Yeah.
whole different ball game. It's like they won't allow you to put your child on a respirator. Now,
I mean,
was that Christianity keeping them out of that, or was it just secular rules? You see?
nuts. I mean, that's half term. That's gone halfway.
Mm-hmm.
That is already. I mean, they should be trying their best, no matter what size, or what gestation period, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's bad, man.
Canada or however they have these long-term abortions. But if you care about the under 5, like you were talking about, you were fighting for that in this debate, then why would you not care for the under 22 months or 20 months or 36 months or whatever? I mean, I don't understand. Like, how would that be a point for you when you don't mind people getting aborted or kids getting aborted?
Somewhere on that spectrum, like, if an abortion happened like the day before somebody was due to be born, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But the morning after pill, I am somewhere, and this is something that I would have to go and think deeply, like intrinsically about, because I've never done that. I've never done that. So somewhere on that spectrum, there will be a cut-off point.
Okay.
But what
I don't even agree with the morning after pill.
No, I mean, I think life starts at conception. You've seen them pictures of the spark of life. As soon as conception starts, that's life. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it.
You see, they've kind of normalized it, like, to make it the fetus not be a baby.
Right.
They're
Well, it's the start. I mean, like Scripture says, like Josh says, took his time 9 months forming us in our womb, in our mother's womb, in our womb, in our mother's womb.
Yeah, but people's hearts have grown cold. They just aren't loving anymore. They just don't care. And guess what's the reason for that? Oh, because they're throwing God out of the society. They're throwing Christianity out of society. So things are getting worse.
I will say is that the
Grok Imagined
What?
by XAI, now on Artlist. Built for rapid generation with
if we're talking about society being benefited, we looked at these Christian Science people that you've already said, yeah, maybe that's not your version of Christianity, whatever. But they are themselves doing that in the name of Christianity. And if Christianity as a religion,
Yeah, he doesn't want to face a abortion. I think he's scared that he's gonna, offend some people if he says something. So he rather wants to sit on the fence of the abortion story and not really address it. But then again, what has he really addressed so far this whole debate? Absolutely nothing. He's making a whole bunch of baseless claims, which is shown actually just on ignorance and not any logic at all. But that's it. Not much of a debate so far. Josh, you like literally whipping him around the corner, by the way. Because he's not actually bringing a rebuttal to anything you present at all.
didn't exist, then at least those kids would have been saved. And I'm not here to say that secular people don't neglect kids or do things that are awful. But what I'm saying is those kids would have, we all know they would have been saved if their children hadn't had this viewpoint.
And all the children that were going to be aborted, if we had a Christian viewpoint, all those children would be saved. So it'd be a lot more children that would be saved, because I think it's like 800,000 kids are aborted in America alone. So if we had a strict Christian outlook, then there would be, all those kids would be saved. So there'd be far more kids being saved if there was no abortions in the world than the kids that maybe were under 5 that were neglected in America, which we don't even know if that was any of that stuff was Christians. We have no idea. The data's just
Yeah, I mean, go back in history a bit before abortion even became a thing, so quote unquote. Okay? They wouldn't even think twice to try and kill their baby that way. But now today, it's like, it's just meaningless. There's nothing there, according to them.
Yeah, some people don't give it a second thought.
It's like,
It's just like,
some people find.
Well, and it's like the prospect of having a child, a baby, is far more potent, you know, when they have to actually reap what they sow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And some people even
And so when
find
that's
it
not a
fun.
factor anymore, yeah, well, it's nuts.
It's crazy, man.
Mhm.
That's what happens when you take God out of society.
right.
They just don't care. And this is why it comes back down to, again, how can you justify morals without God? You can't.
Con.
Going to show you that in America, under 5 mortality rate shows this, and then you just say, well, there's a lot of Christians in America, so we're just going to place that under all the umbrella of Christianity. Like, we can't do that, right? Because we don't know the situations in that data. But let's see, what else do we had the sexual transmitted disease thing that we were talking about. That's something that like I said, I mean, what would you say to that? I said the Bible teaches to not have sex before marriage or outside of marriage. And also sexual immorality, the Bible is totally against. The New Testament, Old Testament, both, right? So what I would say is, why would you bring up sexual transmitted diseases in America when the Bible teaches to not have sex before marriage, which means that you would not have a sexual transmitted disease yet, unless you got it from your parents, like when you were born. But if you if you didn't have any sexual transmitted disease, you meet your wife, you end up getting married to her. She has no sexual transmitted disease because she didn't have sex before marriage. You go to the doctor, you both have no sexual transmitted disease, right? Then you go through your whole marriage not having sex outside of marriage. There would be no sexual transmitted disease.
Amen.
And that's what Christianity teaches. So if there's anybody that's having sex before marriage, or if anybody's having sex outside of their marriage, that's going to cause sexual transmitted diseases.
Yep. Because what's the wages of sin?
Death.
Yeah. Josh is really ringing him around the corner, yeah.
Steamrolling it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in secular societies, there would be more gay, lesbian, and if you look at the sexual transmitted diseases in that community, I have nothing against people that are gay. I have friends that are gay. I'm not trying to say anything like that, but you'd see that the sexual transmitted disease rate would be higher for that, right? And the Bible teaches obviously against that, right? So we would have to see. I mean, I could look at what the rates would be, but
wait my face quickly, I'm
you know,
getting hot.
there's a lot more no condom use because they're obviously with men they're doing it in a different way, and there would be a lot of that it would be running rampant. So the Bible doesn't teach to have sex outside of marriage or before marriage. So I would say that's not something that Christianity has had any effect on society. But what would you say to that?
Hang on, there's a few points there. So the STI thing?
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Nina can't code.
Interesting.
These adverts.
Can it generate reports?
It is.
Oh, yeah, that's
about.
He's probably got it on the high setting for adverts. Crazy.
You brought sexual transmitted diseases in America, right? So,
Yeah.
which, so that's what I would say. I would say if the Bible teaches against that, and it gives you a specific way to live, then that would be like we shouldn't even bring that up. That has nothing to do with Christianity. But go ahead. What would you say to it?
And I think actually your last sentence there has kind of summed this up. If we look at what the paper did, it's looking at communities here that have an absolute belief in God, regularly attend the church, and take the Bible literally. So these are the people who are living in those.
Doesn't mean they're Christian.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean they follow what the Bible teaches.
A lot of people say they're Christian and they don't believe in God. I mean, people say, yeah, my Christian name is, and they're not Christian, you know, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people class themselves as Christian who don't follow Jesus whatsoever. Some people don't even believe in God, but they call themselves Christians.
Yep. I mean, look at that church we saw last night, Monday night, where they just go to a church wearing Jesus loves you shirt and gets kicked out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Insane.
Communities, and I think this is where maybe we're coming at this debate in a different way, because I'm talking about how the religion, the infrastructure, the behaviors, the people.
Religion does not cause syphilis, unless it's Islam, because they teach you can marry your first cousin, have 4 wives, have muta as much as you want. It's crazy. But when it comes to Christianity, there is no thing that teaches you to fornicate. There is nothing that teaches you to commit adultery. There's nothing that teaches you to sleep around and do all these things. It's insane. Hey Charles, good to see you, brother. If you read your Bible, you would know this, and you wouldn't actually argue what you're arguing, Catz. And I find it really disturbing that he's ignored every single thing Josh has said about this, because he keeps reverting back to the same thing. And
Right.
Josh keeping has to repeat himself and say, listen, yeah, that's not what the Bible teaches. That is not about Christianity. That's not even got to do with the topic. If you want to show how Christianity is bad for society, you have to bring up scriptures that say these things, that show, hey, go sleep around, go do this, have this, don't give your children medication, go show this. You can't, because that's not what the Bible teaches. So it's not Christianity's fault if these things are happening. It's people's fault. It's got nothing to do with Christianity at all.
No, exactly. I mean, he can't turn around and say that Christianity is bad for society. The worst he can say in his position is it doesn't affect society. You know what I mean? That's the worst. He can't say it's bad for society.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, please hit the likes and share the show. Woohoo! I appreciate you all.
How that affects society. You're coming from kind of like an idealistic, well, this is what the Bible says, so therefore these people aren't doing, performing Christian practices. So you're kind of like removing them as being Christians. Would you say that's fair? Like, is that where we're kind of like missing it?
Yes. Well, you are removing them as being Christian because most Christians abiding by their faith wouldn't be doing that.
Also, I don't think he's realized how many of these people were not Christian when they did these things and then repented and became Christian.
Right.
Ever thought of that?
And some Christians do fall into sin and do that and repent of it. It happens. We're flawed. It happens. But if you're abiding by your faith, that shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
These things.
Each other somewhere.
Yeah, we're probably missing each other, but it's just what the way that you would have to, the only way that Christianity would have an influence, the way that I would say it, and I know you might not be, is that if the Bible was teaching us to do that. If it's not teaching us to do that, then obviously the Christianity is not having that influence. What's happening is the secular influence is happening on these Christian people, and that's what's causing them to do that. So it's not like they're using the Bible, like if you were using the Bible, like I said in my opening statement.
Also, if you look at these diseases and stuff, has it ever occurred to Catz that some of these surveys are usually done on like universities and stuff? Okay? There's a lot of people that go into universities claiming to be Christian. They don't live a Christian lifestyle. They're not Christian at all. They're just brought up in a quote-unquote Christian family because they go to church. Now they're in the university, they don't have their mother and father with them and keeping an eye on them, you know, so they just fall and do what the crowd does. Now, when someone comes and interviews them, says, "Are you a Christian?" They say, "Yes." That's it. Doesn't mean they are Christian.
That's right.
Like if you can give me chapter and verse of everything that you feel that Christianity has done that's bad for society, then you would have a great evidence of it. But if you can't, then I don't think there'd be evidence of it. So anything that you could say, like I said about how Christianity has affected society in a negative way, and the stuff that you're bringing up, I could pull data on secular communities having the same issues, like I talked about with the homosexual rates of syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV. It says that there's a 60 to 70%. I don't even want to bring it up. Okay, I don't really need to, because that's not what we're arguing here. We're not arguing between LGBTQ and straight people, you know. So all I just want to say is that anything that you bring up, Christianity is going to teach against that.
Amen.
So how would that be an effect on society if the Bible's teaching against it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I get the Bible's teaching against it. And what you're saying is that the secular people are...
Great. So the Bible's teaching against it, you don't have an argument, Catz. Great, you just threw your argument away, so therefore no debate.
Right.
Josh, you just handed him his arse whipping, and he agreed with you. So therefore there is no debate. Catz doesn't have an argument. Because he literally just agreed with you.
Kind of influencing, that's what you're saying, influencing people to move away from Christianity. If that was true... If it's the secular influencing the Christian, then we would expect the secular societies to have a higher rate than we do. So
you literally are looking at it. It's secular people that are, quote unquote, labeled as Christian. Because I can guarantee you can go and interview these same people and ask them things about the Bible. They probably won't be able to answer you.
No.
I mean, I watched this other channel, I can't remember his name. But he usually goes around asking people just normal, ordinary, easy questions based on trivia about the Bible. And then for every right question, he gives them $50 or whatever. And he asked them the most idiotic questions. Like, he first asked, "Are you a Christian?" Yes. And he's like, "Okay, what are the 4 books of the 4 Gospels?"
Really?
They can't even answer that. Or like, ask them a book. Let's say Exodus. Is that in the New or Old Testament?
Yeah.
They don't know. Now these are so-called Christians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not Christianity.
So this is the type of people that they interview for these surveys. These surveys are usually done on like university platforms where people just say they're Christian but they're not really. So you can't really trust this data anyway.
In the Christian one. So if we look at the screen here, all of these down here, there's about, I mean, if I show you the key, so you see how many countries there are, right? There's a lot. All of these are all of the countries. How many countries there are?
All those are countries, okay? Let's see. Is Japan a Christian country, guys?
Japan?
As far as I know, it's not.
No.
No, not by a long shot.
What about Switzerland? I don't think so. Sweden? I don't think so. But yet, he's got them on, yeah? France is as far away from Christian country as can go. Come on. I think Holland as well. They're not at the moment. A lot of these are actually pushing away from Christianity at the moment. Even Australia, which is bad. Very sad.
Isn't Sweden socialist nowadays?
Spain is not Christian.
There are, right? There's a lot. All of these are all of the countries. So there's a lot of them. And if we go to, for example, syphilis here, 15 to 19-year-olds, all of those countries except America, those highly secular ones that don't take the Bible literally, that have a low proportion of people who take the Bible literally.
I want to also point out, you do know places like, for instance, Japan and stuff, they literally don't give the people information that's negative. They actually have it written in their laws that they don't let the public know about the negative things. Like, they literally say there's no poor people.
Wow.
But you can go there and find dozens of poor people living on the streets. But their data says there's no poor people.
Right. I just typed in Sweden Christian, and it says Sweden has a deep historical, cultural, and demographic Christian foundations, primarily as a Lutheran nation, but today it is considered one of the world's most secularized countries. secularized, so it's not Christian.
They're all down here. They're all down here on this y-axis for syphilis. So
also, all those countries are much smaller than the USA. Okay? You have to look at the population as well. You can't expect, let's for instance take 10 people, okay, compared to 10,000 people. In those 10 people, if you for instance have 3 out of that 10, that would be a lot more compared to 4,000 in the 10,000. You understand? Why? Because population demographics. They don't put population demographics in this. They just put, oh, this is 1,000. This one is 200. This one is 10 or whatever. They don't look at the population rate. They don't look like, oh wait, this is actually 50% of the population, or this is 20% of the population. Where you get to America, it's probably like, I don't know, 30%, where let's say Japan is 45%, but Japan's lower because the number is less. I don't think this gels really with this guy. I don't think they really understand how the statistics work.
But how can it possibly be the secularists influencing the Christian society when the Christian society are so far?
How do secularists influence Christian society? I don't know. Maybe by giving them sin and making them love sin.
Well, and you know what's strange is that when you look up, what societies are secular today, U.S. is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like using his own argument against himself in a way. This is so strange.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we've been pointing out all this time.
Right.
Insane.
We're ahead in these cases of syphilis than the secular societies. How can it possibly be that way around?
What do you think is causing there to be 15 to 19-year-old syphilis, and how is Christianity influencing them to do that? Like, where's the influence coming from? I don't understand what, because like I said, if children are having, or teenagers are having syphilis, then what part of the Bible are they pulling from for them to be having sex before marriage? They're not.
It's linked to this. The conclusions. Now again, I'll send you all the papers, but it really looked really deeply into it, and these other papers back it up. And it's basically to do with teaching that contraception is wrong. Yeah. These young kids are having sex without contraception, so it's leading to higher birth rates in teens.
And are Christians supposed to have that type of relationship? No. But like I said, people are not either Christian, or a lot of the time they are, they got their issues. People still fall under sin, even as a Christian. And I have to say the moderator here should have actually stopped Catz, but he won't because he's probably biased. And said,
I forgot.
Yeah?
I forgot there was a moderator there. He's that quiet.
No, he's not saying anything.
I know, yeah.
He's letting the conversation go, which is good. But he should also step in and say, listen here, what you are arguing is not part of the topic. Get to the topic. That's what a moderator is supposed to be doing here. Getting them onto the topic. And they're just circle jerking the whole time, going back and forth, saying exactly the same thing over and over. Catz is just not understanding what he's presenting has got nothing to do with the actual subject. All he's trying to do is say, look how bad Christianity is. That's all he's trying to do.
Yeah, STDs.
So these children that are teenagers that are not using a condom are doing non-Christian things and causing syphilis. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Bible teaches that you're going to be judged for what you're doing. So what happens is that the reason why they're doing non-Christian things is because the Bible teaches you to not have sex outside of marriage. So that's not a Christian thing, that's a secular thing. So that what they're doing is they're having sex before marriage, and whether they're using a condom or not, they're still going against what the Bible teaches. So I would say it's not a Christian thing what they're doing there. So if you're 15 to 19 and you're not using a condom and you're having sex before marriage, you're going against what Christianity teaches.
Okay, and I get that. My response to that would be, brilliant. I don't think you should be having sex at that age at all. You know, I'm with you. But this is the real world, and that's where I'm kind of focusing my argument from. We do live in the real world. These people are having sex at that age, but
I can show many accounts of seculars, children having sex at the age of 9 and 10 years old.
Yeah.
Girls getting pregnant at 10, 11 because of this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all secular.
Yeah. Now, if people are sticking to the Christian faith, if they stick to it, then where is the influence coming from? It can't be from Christianity.
Exactly. Hey, but why?
Because they have Christian beliefs, they are doing it in a dangerous way without contraception and picking up.
Because they're doing it in a religion, they're doing it without contraception. No, that is not true. Okay, that's just nonsense. So it's claiming if you're a Christian, you refuse to use contraception. First of all, they wouldn't care about contraception if they're doing the sin anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do with it. If you use contraception or not, it's got absolutely nothing to do with your Christian values. This is insane, man. So he's even divining people's motives.
STDs, and the only reason that they're doing it with a much higher rate of lack of contraception is because of the religion. So these cases,
so nonsense. That is such a nonsense argument. Only reason why they don't use contraception is because of their religion. No, that is nonsense. Where has anybody told? I don't know. I haven't seen a Christian tell me, sorry, I'm going to have sex before marriage, but I'm not going to go and use a condom. Come on. I think a condom's the last on their mind. Sure. I'm glad I wasn't debating Catz, man. I'd get so frustrated. Josh, you're keeping your head up good, man.
of STDs and teenage pregnancies simply wouldn't be as high if it wasn't for the fact that they had the Christian beliefs.
Okay. And then also this is, you're only pulling data from like
12-hour shifts, 30 years, I'm 55. 10 years till I can stop. Started trading last month, $20.
Places that are equal to America, like
yeah.
I was just saying, I wonder if Catz sent the paperwork he said he was going to send, the files and that. He said he was
Oh
send
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, Josh, has Catz sent you all this data? If so, please can you email it to me? It would be great to have a look and gander through it. Would appreciate it, man.
I kind of saw the list, so
developed
this is
countries.
these are developed countries, yeah. So obviously the data would be far different if we did across the whole entire world, right? So, anyways, yeah, I think it's
reproductivehealthjournal.com. So this is literally looking at reproductive data.
Yeah.
Specifically reproductive. So not specifically is Christianity bad. No. Just looking at the reproductive system.
Yeah, and it doesn't say anything about on the religiosity side of it. It doesn't say anything about before marriage.
Mm-hmm. But look at that. It says religiosity of the state. Of the state? I mean, let's for instance take South Dakota. Let's say South Dakota claims to be a Christian state. Does that mean the people in South Dakota are Christians?
No.
No. Wow.
It's interesting, but like I said, in my opening, if you could find, like, like if you could specifically find, which I know that you're not a Bible expert, so I wouldn't expect you to do that. But like if you could specifically find like where the New Testament teaches to do something, you'd have a way better case, a way better argument. So for example, if you found like a Bible verse that talks about, like if it said like, you know, if you have priestly duties, like this is going off subject, but if you have priestly duties, then you're allowed to do whatever you want to children, or whatever. Then you'd have a better argument. Like if you see the Bible teaching sex before marriage is okay, and you find a Bible verse that says anything like that, then you'd have way proper evidence, right? But that, like I said, that's not Christianity having an effect on society or the Bible having an effect on society. That is
Exactly.
like I said, secular activities having an effect on them in society, because.
Well said, Josh. But how many times does he have to say the same thing over and over there?
Yeah, it's sin at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sin is the problem.
Like 3 or 4 now.
This is not them saying, you know what, in the name of the Bible, I'm gonna be doing this before marriage. You're not supposed to do it before marriage. The Bible teaches that. So that's why my stance would be that since the Bible doesn't teach it, it's not the Bible or Christianity or the New Testament having any effect on them doing that before marriage. You know, so that'll be my
And that's all you've been saying the whole time, Josh. That's all you need to say. This debate is long gone over, guys. Catz wasn't even part of this debate.
evidence in my
And if the title of this debate was does what the Bible teach harm society? Okay,
I understand.
I'd lose hands down because I don't know. I don't know what the Bible teaches. I don't know.
Oh my word. First of all, if Christianity was bad for society, everybody would be going against what the Bible says. So that doesn't fit what you just said.
So I would lose hands down if the debate was is what the Bible teaches good for society. But the title of this particular debate is Christianity. Now, Christianity is not just what's written in the Bible. It is the infrastructure and the behaviors and the practices around. Which, and again, I know you keep going to the Bible, but it's almost like you're saying, for the purpose of this particular debate, it's almost like you're saying, okay, these people are Christians, they're doing things in the name of Christianity, and if Christianity didn't exist, they wouldn't be able to do these bad things in the name of it, but they're just confused, so it doesn't matter, it's not real Christianity, which I feel is what you're saying. But my point is that if Christianity didn't exist, they wouldn't be doing these things, even if they're mistaken, even if they are misunderstanding what's in the Bible, they are still doing it in the name of Christianity. So,
anybody can tell him what Sodom and Gomorrah was? Was Sodom and Gomorrah Christians? No. It was so bad with Sodom and Gomorrah that God couldn't find anybody, not even 10 righteous people, that he would spare Sodom and Gomorrah. They were doing all these things that you have on screen, Catz. God literally had to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because the people refused to turn from their wicked ways. There was no God there, but they were doing all this. There was no Jesus there. No Christianity. This is way before Christianity. Yet they were doing all this. I can show you cults today where they do these things that don't even believe in Jesus. They don't believe in God. So that's total nonsense.
if Christianity didn't exist, they wouldn't be doing it.
Okay, I understand. And like I said, one thing I do appreciate about you so much, Al, is when you're debating, the way that you discuss things and you allow me to talk, and I love the way that you do that. Because I've debated Craig Fight the Flat Earth before, and
I agree with that, Josh. That's one thing Catz is at least lets people talk.
Yeah,
and he's at least cordial. But when it comes to
Catz is like, I'm not saying nothing.
But when it comes to Craig, FTFE, oh my word.
Oh, he's a pain in the butt.
it was like so hard to even get any points across. So I appreciate the way that you debate, and I could say that for sure, man. I really love that. I appreciate it. But yeah, so yeah, so interesting stuff. Any other part you want to go into, or?
I'm not sure where we are on time, actually. How we fixed to, because I think we were going to do like 20 minutes and then questions from chat, weren't we, or something? Or
yeah. Let's see our.
Did he just say questions from chat?
Yeah, if there's any.
Yeah, Q&A.
Questions from chat. Oh, from chat. I thought he says question. Right. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, LJ, good to see you, brother.
Anything else you want to bring up? We can get into it. But there's. Go ahead.
I'd like to do more.
Okay, let's do it.
Actually,
sorry, go on.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah, sure.
Two things there. The data you pulled up, is that recent data?
No.
Which paper? There's a mix here. Is that this one?
2005. I think this one was rated 2015. So no, it's not recent.
I saw one, I think, that goes back as far as 2009.
One of them goes back to 2002 as well. Oh, this one's 2005, this one.
Would you think that data is reflective of now, or has it got worse? Do you have anything?
It's got worse.
Probably got worse.
It's got worse. It definitely has got worse. And it's definitely more secular now, and it's got worse. So what does that tell you? The trend is not based on Christianity. The trend is taking Christianity out.
Yeah.
Thing to present on that?
I mean, I've only got my gut feeling on that, to be honest. To find a paper that was so thorough in the way it was comparing different things, I could only find this one. So I only have my gut feeling, and my gut feeling is it's probably the same, but you know.
But your gut feeling doesn't matter, man. What has your gut feeling got to do with facts?
Right.
Oh. That's my gut feeling.
Some of the data, like it says, secular atheists or non-affiliated groups generally show higher suicide rates compared to religious groups. Studies suggest in the U.S. areas lower religious affiliation report higher suicide rates. And that's just pulling up real quick here. So, I mean, I obviously you're pulling between in America, you know. So we can't say that now. America also has, America, like when they came over here, they would say they're Protestant Christians, you know, and what happens is there's also effects of, Freemasonry as well that they came over here. So they were saying in the name of Christianity, but there was a lot of like Freemasons and different ideas, and there's a lot of different things that you could kind of anchor to that, you know. So I don't know. I think that.
Look it up. I love it.
I think that what you brought up is based in America. In America, obviously, there's a lot more Christians in America, of course, but I don't believe that Christianity had those effects. They're not causing people to commit suicide. You know, that's not what I would say, and the Bible speaks against that. You know, it's a sin. You know.
I'm going to ask you this then.
I mean, let's for instance take slavery. Christianity got slavery abolished, especially in America. That's good, correct?
Absolutely.
That's what Christianity did.
Absolutely.
That's weird.
Yes, sir,
because this, I think, is the crux of it. What I kind of suspected after your opening statement. Do you believe, hand on heart, that the Christian, I'm going to use the word like infrastructure or institutions, right? Do you believe that the way they exist worldwide, right, actually reflect the teachings of the Bible?
No.
The Christian, are you talking about like Christian churches? Are you talking about like, what are we talking about?
So the institutions as a whole. So the behaviors and the practices that are carried out in all the variety of different Christian churches. Do you think they all represent what's in the Bible, or do you think? I suppose I'll put it this way: do you think there are Christian factions or evangelical corners where things are being done in the name of Christianity, but actually they're harmful and it's not Christianity?
So you've debunked yourself, Catz. You literally just made Josh's argument. Therefore, you do not have an argument. So then why do you bring up these things that are secular and not really based on Christianity? Because that's not what Christianity teaches.
Right.
In some ways, yes, I do. Some people create cults in the name of Christianity. Some people create, they use, like I said, it's bad doctrine. You know, like for example, like the Salem witch trials, where they were trying to use Old Testament, Old Covenant, in the name of the old, like like Exodus 22:18 or something. You know, I think that they were trying to commit heinous acts. But they're not doing what Christ teaches, you know, which is the new covenant, you know. So I don't think that they're I think that that's bad theology to do that. So I don't think that's necessarily what Christianity didn't have an effect on that, you know.
And this is where we are kind of like missing each other, in that I am talking about all of those corners. Christianity, these people are doing it in the name of Christianity. So if Christianity didn't exist, a lot of these bad things wouldn't be happening. You've got a different image of Christianity in your mind, which is a set of practices that you deem to be, really beneficial for society.
Did he just say that none of these things would happen if Christianity didn't exist?
What's he trying to correlate that?
Wow.
I mean, it's nuts.
So
nuts.
things don't exist if Christianity doesn't exist. That's nonsense.
It's magnifying a lot there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't include.
Sorry guys, I'm falling asleep here with this because
I thought you were falling asleep then. I was
because
thinking
I took pain medication for my headache before we started.
And gouging you out.
And this heat is like really attacking me.
Understandable, man.
So I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me try to sit up more. Okay. Maybe I can get this fan on my face again.
Well, and it's all right. I mean, you've already gotten through the main meat of the video anyway.
But I'd like to get to the Q&As though. Maybe we should try forward to Q&As. You guys agree?
Sure.
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, it's literally just going in
He's
circles.
done it. He's done it.
It's just going around in circles. Hopefully we get some good questions coming in. There we go. Okay.
To the New Testament, I believe that awesome.
Yeah, we try and find weird stuff. We just have a laugh at it. Really, we're not we don't do big investigations.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've got a question from Jim. I'm just trying to get up here. Question for Josh: are there parts of the Bible which can be ignored?
No, I think that I think you should read the whole entire Bible. You know, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. I believe that's what we should do. You know, and that's what I do on my channel. I don't shy away from anything, and when I do see things that in the Bible that I question, then obviously I have to do a deeper dive on. You know, and that's what I try to do. You know, I want to break down what the Hebrew is saying or what the Greek is saying. You know, and want to make sure that I'm not just reading it. You know, from an American standpoint, you know, I want to make sure that I want to find out what was going on in the culture at that time and find out exactly why the Bible is saying that, you know, and the way that I do that is I'll try to have somebody that is a Hebrew expert come on and kind of explain it to me so I understand. And so is there parts of the Bible that could be ignored? No, I think we should read the whole Old Testament, the whole New Testament, and I think it's all, I think it should be all digested for sure.
Amen. Well done.
Okay, they're starting to come through quite quick now. Got another one from Clarence. Do you think the New Testament is replacement to the Old, even though Jesus refutes this?
No,
that is a misunderstanding of Scripture, first of all.
No replacement, they go together.
Oh my word. When something is fulfilled, guys, Jesus says, I did not come to abolish the law, but I've come to fulfill the law. What happens when you fulfill something?
Oh, it's done it.
It's done. You don't do it again. It's finished. It's like let's take someone has a delivery quota, and they've come and they've finished that job. They've delivered all the packages. Is there still packages he needs to deliver? No, he's done. It's finished.
That's it.
And that's exactly what Jesus did. He came to fulfill the old law. Hence why we're not under the old law anymore.
That's right. Just because it's a new covenant, it doesn't mean to say you have to disregard everything in it. They go together.
Exactly.
Jesus was in the Old Testament as much as he's in the New, so yeah, absolutely.
I think that the New Testament is. I think that Jesus came to kind of explain how we should be taking the Old Testament. You know, what I think that some people do is they even the Pharisees and the Sadducees at the time, obviously they were taking the Old Testament and they were trying to use it against Jesus. And every time Jesus had explained how they actually should be taking those particular verses, you know. So I think Jesus explains it quite nicely and perfectly to the Pharisees and the Sadducees on how they should be taking that. What happens is they were taking men's traditions and they were trying to place it over what the Bible was actually teaching to benefit them. You know, that's what was happening. And I think that Jesus was pointing that out to them of exactly how they should be taking it. And I think he does a great job of doing that.
Okay.
Very well done.
One more from a chap called Stating the Obvious, channel regular. Jesus had strong opinions on money, etc. What about the mega churches fleecing their flock? Controversial.
Yes, definitely.
What tells me that's a very biased chat?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the chat
Well, I
seemed
would
to
say
be.
they're not doing. I wouldn't say they're not doing God's work. Those mega churches, far from it. Far from it.
Obviously, but what has any of this got to do with the debate topic, though?
It's not. It's good. It's right. What do you reckon's bad? It's what's bad about Christianity, or what gets called Christianity.
It looks like
See
it's
the
just like,
direction
let's
it's
take a
going.
stab at Christianity as much as possible. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And there's Christian churches that try to use that, but you know, Jesus said that you know, it's better for a rich man to or a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I think that when it comes to money, Jesus did have strong opinions on it, you know, and I think what happens is the churches are trying to use the Bible to make money, you know, and I think when you mix those two together, then it becomes an issue and a problem. And obviously with mega churches doing that, I do not believe that they're going against what Jesus taught, you know, so they are doing wrong. They're not using proper theology, and they're actually taking advantage of their flock. I do agree with that, and I don't think it's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I go to the next question, I just need to address user Black Christus 73. The question you posted, can you add some more context to that before I put it on screen, please? Okay. Next question from Surrender Monkey. Is he earning money with his interpretations or readings of the Bible?
Oh my word.
I'm about to go jump off this cliff, and what you're about to see was made possible by the Artless Toolkit.
Is he claiming
You can't handle
Josh is earning?
Josh?
Yes. Okay. So
Is he earning money with his interpretations, reading of the Bible? What again has that got to do with the actual topic at hand? And so what if he's earning money? Then you can say no one's allowed to earn money on anything.
No.
Quite hypocritical.
So I'm not. So I earn money from. Okay. So I'm featured on a podcast. It's called the Cult Conspiracy Podcast, and they pay me to for my time. So they pay me.
Yeah, it's a job. It's a job.
$50 an hour to read the Bible, right? And so that's a separate thing from my show. And I don't ask for any money from the audience. I don't ask for any donations. I tell them that Cult of Conspiracy are paying me hourly to do this, so don't pay me any of your own money. I'm getting paid for this, so I don't want any donations or I don't want any money for doing what I'm doing. Now, I do have a, you know, if somebody wants to donate to the ministry, you know, so I could put, you know, a brand new camera, like I got an HD camera. I'm also going on a trip in June, and I'm also going on a trip to Punta Arenas in December. To test the you know, the flat Earth claims against the globe. People have sent money for that, but I don't ask for that. You know, and I don't ask money to send. I don't ask people like, hey guys, I need you guys to send money for this. I say that if you guys want to donate to that trip, if you want to know what's going on in the South and what's going on in the North, then you could send money. But I don't ask money from the audience. What it is Cult Conspiracy told me, hey, you could be featured on my show, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay you $50 an hour to do it. You know, and that's fine. You know, that's something that.
And I see nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
I mean,
He's giving his time.
I mean, everybody, you get other people that get paid for their time to do things. I mean, it's just right. It's still a job at the end of the day. He's giving a service.
Right.
So, yeah.
Where I'm getting paid for my
there's
time.
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's the same as thinking, okay, you go to a restaurant and the chef makes your food. The chef shouldn't get money. No, because he's just working.
No, because he likes cooking. He loves cooking, so he shouldn't get paid for it.
Yeah, he does. He likes cooking, so he shouldn't get paid for it.
And that's not for me. That's not me like trying to be greedy. It's my wife saying, hey, you know, you're spending time away from the kids. You need to have something coming in to you know, for your time, because I spend numerous amounts of time studying the Bible and trying to you know, read the Bible to the audience. So I'm not asking money from the audience in any way. All I'm doing is I'm getting paid for my time from them, and I'm taking those Bible studies and I'm putting them on my channel. You know, if that makes sense. And then YouTube also pays.
Sorry?
Fair play to George for answering that question, absolutely. But he doesn't have to justify this. He doesn't have to justify this.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
Fair play to him.
I probably get like $100 a month maybe from YouTube, you know, for what I'm putting out. But as far as like asking for donations from the audience or money from the audience, I don't do that. I'm getting paid from corporations to do this, and they offer that. So I could either not get paid from them if I want to, but I do get paid for my time. And I have a full-time job, you know, and I have 3 children, and I have a family that I have to take care of, and getting paid for my time is just like getting paid to do water treatment like I do in the civilian world.
Okay, next is a follow-up question from Jim. Okay, there you go. Do you eat bacon? It's forbidden in Leviticus.
My
word. I think we've already answered that when we said Jesus fulfilled the law. Simple as that.
They're trying to find
it is for
contradictions.
Seems to me they're just trying to attack Josh here. Not actually having questions on the debate.
Bit in Leviticus, but there's also.
Sorry?
Catz. I wonder if anybody asked Catz a question.
I don't know. See. Hopefully.
So if you read the book of Acts, Peter was taken up on a mountain, and he had a vision that the, you know, so there's a way that you could kind of read where it says that these are not unclean anymore. Do I eat bacon? Once in a while I do, and what I would have to do is I'd have to do a deeper study on whether that is, obviously Leviticus does say that, but you can also pull verses in Acts where the food became clean. And also like the Gentiles, like in Acts, they were also having this quarrel where they were like, Jesus is teaching that the Gentiles could be saved now, so they're having a quarrel on whether that's okay. And obviously they ended up
yeah, it's so simple. Okay, Moses made the laws based on traditions of men those days, and also based on, you have to understand the times that we're living in. Okay, God understands that people, especially in that time, wanted to do certain things that are bad for them. So God kind of made them, I don't know, put rules under them and said, you know, it's almost like saying don't jump off of a building because you'll get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like God's telling them that, guys, just don't do that. You know, it's not healthy, it's not good for you. And that's what it was with, for instance, bacon and all that stuff. Today, I would say, yeah, everybody can eat bacon once in a while. It's not going to do anything to you. You know what I mean? You can always counteract some of that cholesterol and things. We have a better understanding of how the caloric intake works and things. Those days, it was just seen as very unclean, but it was also based on those days a lot of people had more sickness, and they had different type of things they would die from, and it was more like a guideline, you know, to keep them healthier for longer. That's it. because it was based actually on traditions of men. The Levitical law was man kind of traditions.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually God made those. Do you really think God's going to say, don't eat bacon? I mean, God says that he made everything for us. So, yeah. Simple. Jesus fulfilled the law, therefore the old law is no longer necessary. Because they used to sacrifice in the Old Testament to have atonement for sins on a temporary basis. That's why Jesus came and he was the ultimate sacrifice. So when he gave his life as a spotless lamb, he fulfilled that. We can get saved now through Jesus. We don't need to do those things anymore to get atonement. We have atonement through Jesus because he paid for the sin. There we go. Hope that answers the question.
Working it out where it is okay, you know. So, yeah, I do at this moment once in a while eat bacon. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Question from James Besant. What denomination of Christian are you, and how did you come to decide that was the one for you?
It's actually a non-denominational church. It's a Calvary Chapel in Fontana, so it's non-denominational. So there's no denomination.
That sounds good. That's how people ask you, like, what are you, Protestant? I say, no, I'm a biblical Christian. That's it. I follow what the Bible says.
I've never really claimed to be any kind of Christian myself.
No, I'll follow the Bible. That's it. As I say, I'll follow the Bible. That makes me a biblical Christian.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
And that's how it should be. You should just follow the Bible, not try and say, I'm a Protestant or I'm a Anglican or whatever. I don't really agree with that much.
That I'm tied to.
Okay, we have a super chat. I don't think it's in the form of a question. I think it's more of a statement. But I don't know if you agree with this. Is
creators, take these 3 apps I built to run my business made with Base 44. They're ready for you.
But I mean, look at this. Inquisitive Infidel, $2. Is he arguing for ideal Christianity versus actual? I think Josh made it very clear that people claim to be Christians don't make them Christians. And the argument, the whole debate's supposed to be, is Christianity good for society? Not can people do sin. That's it.
This was my point in the debate, I think. Yeah. I don't know if I got my point across, but I think that's where we weren't meeting each other. I would agree with that. I would agree that what you're arguing for is like an idealistic version of Christianity that you would adhere to, that you take from the Bible. But I'm talking about the actual reality of, of what we've got. We've got the Last Jedi version of it. Is going back to the rebuttal.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody that's doing super chats and questions too, really appreciate you guys doing that. You know, taking your time out to listen to the debate first of all, and also to ask these questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that, Inquisitive. We've got another long question from Laurie the Tapeworm. Do you at least acknowledge the necessity of separation of church and state, not just for atheists, but Christians too? Without that, even Christians are in danger of losing freedom.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't think you should separate church from state. It depends on how the question's formulated. If it's political, I'd say yeah, definitely. I don't think they should be meddling in things like that. But should the state stand on Christian ground values? Yes. Because things seem to flourish a lot better when they stand on Christian ground values. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, yeah, absolutely. If everybody had the attitude of Jesus with the Beatitudes, I think we'd be in a cool place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we need to watch any more further than that.
Cool.
Appreciate the debate, Josh and Catz. It's very apparent who was actually very prepared there and who didn't really understand what the topic was. I think Josh did a stellar job.
At least he was respectful.
Mm-hmm.
That's. Well, yeah, well done, Josh, man.
So, any final statements you have to say to these guys?
No, it's well done, Josh. Yeah, I think Catz was, like you say, ill prepared. And at least he should have read a little bit of the Bible at least before debating stuff to do with the Bible, you know. Yeah, Josh did an excellent job, man. Excellent stream.
Awesome. And you, Derek?
I agree. No, yeah, PJ, I agree. It was one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well done, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to scoot myself. But God bless and take care in the meantime, everyone.
Just God bless, man. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Bless, man.
PG having a stream coming up?
No, I streamed earlier. I'm not streaming till tomorrow now.
Nice.
I'm going to sleep. I didn't get much sleep last night because I did a live stream, obviously because it was fight night. So, and then we did a movie, so that was finished about 2:30. But then I started playing the console, and then I recorded me playing the game and put it out as a video. So we'll finish it though, and then I straight streamed again. So yeah, not till tomorrow. We'll get some sleep.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for everybody. If you haven't hit the likes, just do it. What does it cost you to hit the likes? Really?
That's it.
And thank you to all my Patreon supporters again and all the channel members and everybody that supports this channel financially. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. You guys rock. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you all tomorrow night for a debate evening, because we're probably going to have some getting people to come and engage again, because we do enjoy those as well. So
nice.
Till tomorrow. Ta-ta.
Good night, guys.
God
Ta-ta.
bless.